Hi everyone, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your spiritual guidance for the week of March 25th, 2018. Today I'm going to be drawing one card from the Earth Magic Oracle deck by Stephen Farmer for the overarching theme for the week. We're looking at the energetic weather for the week. This is for all astrological signs. And then from the Wild Unknown Tarot, one card in the position of what our ego may try to distract us with based on the overarching theme. One card in the position of what our heart asks that we explore further. And one card in the position of what we are likely to experience regardless. Let's go ahead and get the cards drawn. Just to remind everyone that all readings are available on the podcast, on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, so you can listen to it as well as watch it here on the YouTube channel. Okay. All right, here we go. Stone people, vigilance. Wow. It's kind of a bleak card. It's really different than the card that's under the deck, which is the Radiance card. Beautiful, beautiful card, Summer Solstice. All right, let's get some additional cards. Looks like this week with that Vigilance card, the Stone People card, it's going to be very important that you continue to watch, keep a watchful eye on what you've built, right? We have this Radiance under the deck, the Summer Solstice card. Beautiful solar energy here as we're going. I feel like this is in the recent past, right? And then this week, you know, everything coming into light, all this beauty and love and everything. And this week it may be, it's a little bit grim, a little bit bleak here, but it doesn't mean it's has to be a bleak week. It just means that you're really meant to be very clear on what it is you've built, the things that you hold close to you, the things that you're wanting to bring into the light, into their fullness, so that you can share them with others. You know, this is very much a card of divine masculine energy, of bringing things out into the open, of sharing and having everything be in view so that everyone can enjoy. And you have to be vigilant and make sure that whatever it is you've been building on, you keep a watchful eye on it so that it can be sustainable, right? You're wanting to create something that's sustainable. You're wanting to create a very strong foundation here. Let's get some additional cards. Again, it's not so much that it's bleak, it's more like it's just serious. You know, watch out for people, situations that try to, that present themselves, let's say, that are temptations to slide back into old ways, to not protect what you've built. Let's get some additional cards. We have the Sun again, in terms of what the ego may try to distract us with. It's in reverse. We have the Lovers in reverse, in terms of what our heart asks that we explore further. And then we have the Five of Swords in reverse, in terms of what we can look forward to or expect regardless. And we have the Five of Cups in reverse under the deck. So we have two fives, which is a lot of change energy. We have two suns. Again, a lot of that divine masculine energy, everything kind of being in view. So I'll show you the cards as I see them. We have the Sun in reverse for the egoic energy. We have the Lovers in terms of what our heart asks that we explore further in reverse, and we have the Five of Swords in terms of what we can expect or look forward to regardless. And we have the Five of Cups under the deck. Again, two fives, all this change energy. I feel like, as I mentioned, in the recent past, you've built, you know, a lot of you've been creating something, this structure for yourself, and this week you're being asked to be vigilant to make sure that you don't, again, slide back into old ways, you know, this kind of thing. And I do feel with the Five of Cups under the deck as well, this is a beautiful card in reverse because it does show that there have been deep lessons learned about pain and suffering. and that the pain and suffering that you've experienced has not been in vain. You've learned those lessons, and you don't want to repeat them, and this is why you're being asked to be vigilant, right? What we can look forward to, regardless of Five of Swords, having those really clear-cut conversations, having the clarity of vision, knowing, laying down the swords, no BS, just having those, again, those conversations with people where you just lay it out, like this is the way it is, this kind of thing. You don't want to get caught back, sliding back into old patterns. This is how it feels to me with the radiance there and the vigilance, everything coming up. You're trying to create something very, that's foundational for you. And the Sun energy, in terms of what the egoic energy is asking that we explore further, the Sun in reverse is still a beautiful card, but it's not, it's not in the upright, of course. But the egoic energy may try to distract us with this, like, look, everything's good. Look at what we've created for ourselves, and it's all fun and games and this and that. And this card, the Stone people, is saying, no, be vigilant. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, kind of energy. It's okay to have everything in view. It's okay to celebrate and want to share with others what you've been building upon, creating that foundation, that structure for yourself and your life and whatever it may be. But it's, it isn't all just fun and games. You have to make sure that, part of being with that divine masculine energy is you're putting forth energy in order to create something, in order to create a structure and a foundation so that it can be enjoyed and used by others. So just be aware, be vigilant, because with the egoic energy here, it's like, oh, it's all fun and games, let's just play. and the sun is shining and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you want to make sure that, the lessons that you've learned, you continue to hold those close to you. And we have the Lovers in reverse in terms of the heart energy. And this came up before in another reading. I think it was this exact same deck actually a few weeks ago. Maybe longer than that. But when the heart asks that you explore the Lover's energy, I kind of feel like it may be that it looks like whatever, I'm going to say it this way, whatever you have recently decided to no longer participate in, whether it be you are walking away from an agreement or a contract with a person or a situation or a group, a job, be vigilant about that, because it may be that this thing comes around again. It may be that someone or something comes around again. Remember, it's okay to, give people or situations a second chance, but you have learned some very powerful and painful lessons here with the Five of Cups in reverse. And you be vigilant. You don't just slide back into older patterns. I don't know, it's coming in like this return, like I'm thinking of the solar return. We have so much, divine masculine energy with that solar energy, everything coming up into view, wanting to celebrate, but you have to remember that you're different now. You can't have the Five of Cups in reverse and not be different. You maybe have recently changed groups, you've changed your love type, for some of you, changed, work environments, things like that. With the Five of Cups in reverse, there's usually a loss involved, and from that point of pain, you begin to learn and integrate deep lessons around what you've been doing. And then because there's two fives, you make a shift usually, which is why I say you may shift groups, or love types or this kind of thing. And the Lover's card here in reverse, in terms of what the heart is asking that you explore further, it's like, yes, there's pain involved there, with that Five of Cups in reverse, but be vigilant. Doesn't mean that you can't allow people back in, but make sure that those conversations are had with the Five of Swords. It's going to happen anyway, but be as open and honest as you can be. If something isn't working for you, you need to really be clear about what you'll tolerate, what you want, because with the Lovers in reverse, it's like the heart says you can make a shift. You can split from older ways. You can be vigilant around the lessons learned with loss and sorrow and grief. And it doesn't mean that you can't make commitments, but you're wanting to make commitments where it's a more equitable exchange. And in order to do so, you have to be vigilant, and you also have to, walk away from arguing, walk away from, not only be willing to walk away from arguments, but be willing to have more mature discussions instead of arguments. No holds barred, everything on the table here, so that you can move forward in a way that is more radiant, let's say. Very interesting. These 2 5s and all this solar energy. Looks like many things will come up during the week, or you may see things very clearly during this week. And the heart asking you to explore the Lovers in reverse. It's recognize where things aren't feeling equitable, where things can be shifted and changed. Agreements that you had can be reworked, renegotiated. This is all about the renegotiating. Again, not from a place of arguing, like someone trying to win and egos clashing. It's about, okay, let's just have a real conversation here. So if you're like, you could renegotiate a contract, this kind of thing at work. All of this is up for grabs in many different ways, but you have to, feel it out in your own life and see where this plays out. But if you have an opportunity to have a conversation with someone, be as open and honest as you can be. Don't be afraid to walk away from or end commitments and contracts and agreements and relationships that don't feel equitable. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to end their relationships this week, whether it be at work, whatever, but as you're asking, the heart energy is saying, where can it be more equitable? Where can we, be on the same page here? Be vigilant. It's not all fun and games, of course. These two are very connected. It may be that, you get distracted by this, and your heart is saying, okay, but is it equitable? Is it something that can sustain itself? These are 2 major arcana energies, so they're going to be around longer. We don't want to overlook the vigilance. This is the central card for the week. Again, it's very kind of bleak in some ways, but I really feel like it's just more somber and more serious. And then we have all this colorful energy all around it. It can be very distracting, very heady energy, but remember, you have come through something, and you've learned deep lessons around this. It is in the reverse. Those lessons have been integrated and are continuing to be integrated. Be vigilant. Make sure that you get what you want, especially if you are renegotiating or having conversations with people with whom you have some sort of agreement or bond with here, so that it is more equitable. But in order for it to be equitable, you have to be able to say what it is you want. All right, there's the guidance for the week. It should be really, really interesting. I wish you much love, of course, as always, and I will see you either at your private appointment or over on the podcast. I do have the online courses coming up. I'll let you know and put a link up and just keep you updated as soon as they're ready. All right, talk to you soon.